Right. I'll hit the recording just so I can. What's up, everyone watching on YouTube and on X, on TwitterX.com? You're watching the Barracks. This is a little promotional teaser for our upcoming interview with the one, the only Xiangyu, right below us, but soaring above us in the stratosphere, the premier anti-imperialist communist rapper from Taiwan. We're going to get into it. We got some excellent conversations for you tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Milkman, you want to head this little teaser content for us? Show us what clips we got lined up.
Sure. Well, I was just I was on Twitter the other day, and this post went sort of semi-viral from women posting W's, which is subjective, I guess.
How the fuck is that a W?
Cosplayer Xiangyu won an election in the Chinese parliament by cosplaying as Asuka from Neon Genesis Evangelion while campaigning, and she gives her victory speech in the same cosplay. So, Xiangyu, what's going on here? Who this actually happened back in 2020, but it's just getting the W is only getting posted now, I suppose.
So I really do not understand why it's being posted now, but yeah. So basically her
just what's going on here?
She's part of the new generation of politicians in Taiwan who really got their claim to fame in the 2014 color revolution called the Sunflower Movement, which was a protest against the cross-strait service trade agreement, which was intended to liberalize the and further integrate the economies of Taiwan and the Chinese mainland in areas in the service sector, especially in areas like I think healthcare, tourism, film, banking, telecommunications, stuff of that sort. And the argument was that the government, which was this was the KMT still back then, was trying to push things forward without further discussion, because the argument was that this could have repercussions for Taiwanese people with lower wages on the mainland. It could decrease wages over here and cause economic stagnation. But it's a stupid argument, because you look at the economy now, it is stagnant, and if you remove TSMC from the equation, our economy is our economic growth is negative here in Taiwan. But yeah, she's basically a part of that that sort of color revolutionary wing. Another thing that another party that that rose from that color revolution is called the New Power Party, which basically, you know how like in the US you have the Squad and the Democratic Party. Imagine the Squad being nominally a separate party from the Democrats, but still like basically being like Democrats. That's basically what the New Power Party was. Well, she didn't join the New Power Party, but a lot of her cohorts, her fellow protesters, who are her celebrity activists, did become part of the New Power Party. She joined the DPP. Her parents, I believe, are DPP members, and she is now a legislator in the so-called parliament. And this whole thing is part of the DPP's like rebranding, because in 2014 there was a whole like woke washing, because before 2014, especially before the 2010s, the DPP was kind of like the redneck party, if you can believe it. And like the Sunflower Movement was basically like the turning point in which it really became like the woke party, and it wanted to also become like more relatable with the youth. So hence you can see yeah, because there's quite a lot of I wouldn't really call them weebs in Taiwan. Her going this far is weebery, but you have like a lot of people because a lot of people here growing up like did watch Japanese anime dubbed in Chinese like on TV, because there's not much of a domestic animation industry over here. So yeah, it's basically just being, oh, I'm one of the cool guys, I'm one of you. It's kind of like how there was that this is to like age demographics, as like there was that one Republican candidate, I think, who played back that ass up in front of like a bunch of like black people. This is like the age version of that, whereas that was like to race. This is like with age, trying to come out as more relatable. But
no, it's part of this. When you mentioned the sunflower revolution, it's part of that era, like that 2014, the end of like the Barack Obama presidency in the United States, of color revolutions popping off all across the world, orchestrated by the United States.
Pivot to Asia.
Of non-politicians skyrocketing into government positions of authority. A lot of them like these weird, perverts,
quirky people, and like, oh, they're relatable. Instead of having a bunch of out-of-touch elites, you're echoing. Instead of having a bunch of out-of-touch elites, we finally have someone who's among the people, but then they sell us out more, just as much as like their predecessors.
Well, dare I invoke the concept of boner socialism here, but I can't help but notice, she's young, relatively pretty, in a skin-tight suit, and it's like, oh, don't worry about the policies. She almost looks like she's like accepting an award here, and she's doing this little heart hands thing. It's like, oh, don't worry about the policies. That's all fine. Just vote for the girl in the skin-tight suit, And
with Tsai Ing-wen next to her.
Yeah, that's Tsai Ing-wen there. And this always is targeted. This is very much targeted at like students, right? A lot like Tiananmen, because they're young and impressionable and easy to get with stuff like this. It's like, oh, you can be a political revolutionary and also, vote for the girl in the skin tight thing. It's very appealing to a certain type of mindset. At least that's what I see here a lot, and it really seems like the same thing. When Tsai Ing-wen says, "Oh, we're defending feminism and LGBT," I'm actually going to pull up something else here if I can find it real quick, which is relevant.
It's funny because Lai Pin, her ex-boyfriend Wu Zheng, joined the Sunflower Movement partly because she invited him to join her. It's like the leftoids, like like Western leftists joining organizations trying to get laid. Similar energy, at least in my opinion. That's what it comes off as to me.
Yeah, and you're right about it being students. Like just in that same era, the umbrella protests in Hong Kong, students and white collar managers, because you have the Rohingya genocide around the same time in Myanmar. Also,
Ukraine.
Maidan. It was that same another coup of the era. There was also that office worker, and then a lot of American neo-Nazis who formed the Azov Battalion. It's from that white collar managerial class.
It's a huge part of it is pivot to Asia, and it's more accurately, I think, pivot to Eurasia. Is it a coincidence that you see these color revolutions in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Ukraine all at the same time? Like with the one in Hong Kong and Taiwan, like having to do with mainland China, and the one in Ukraine having to do with Russia. I don't think it's a coincidence.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to show. This is a comparison of the Spring Festival. Let me pull this up.
Oh, that video. That's embarrassing.
Do you not want me to show it?
You can, but it's not really.
I just think this is indicative of Western influence.
Yeah.
So we don't need the sound. This is from. So this is the Spring Festival in China compared to in Taiwan province. There's a bit of a difference. You might be able to notice it.
Okay, this isn't as bad as the other video that I saw. When it's the same one.
Oh my god! Look at that. Okay, we don't need to see that.
I think the way they do it in Taiwan is like, with the youth, it's like it's like open society bullshit, like pushed by NGOs. They let the youth think, oh, look at how restrictive they are over here. Look at how much freedom we have over here. It's a lot of it is that it's like you said, boner socialism.
Yep.
Get people to think with their dicks. Yeah.
That's what I see there, and it is like that's how the imperialists get people. They
and the thing is,
they go around the rational brain to just grab the libido, and it's like, oh well, we got to be anti-China because we got girls in thongs. So and
And the thing is,
it
like
makes people
people
not
in
think rationally.
Taiwan, the more like boomers, like the older generation, and also people in more rural areas, they look at that and they find that stuff disgusting. It's mostly like cosmopolitan people in cities like Taipei that look at those things and be like, oh yeah, it's because it's a product of liberalization and democracy, and it's good. It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, it's like OnlyFans revolution.
While your jobs are being destroyed, and while your government representatives are stealing billions of dollars, at least you get to fantasize about having sex with this internet whore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not a joke. That's like how this stuff spreads. I mean, look at what they do in Iran. Whenever it's time
quite
to
sad
talk
if you think
about,
about it. It's just I mean, imagine that stuff like happening to your family members.
yeah. Well, you're not supposed to do that. But yeah, in Iran, whenever it's time to talk shit about the Iranian Revolution, what do? They post some girl in a bikini and are like, "Look at how free Iran used to be. What happened? Like, freedom is just the more naked you are, the more free you are." And I guess
like
if
the opposite
everyone just ran
argument could
around
be made.
naked, that would be the freest society possible.
Because the opposite argument could be made, because in like more traditional societies, they look at like America and be like, oh shit, look at like what's going on there. We're protecting our society. We're protecting like our next generation of like, young men, and we're protecting our young women from the problems that will be caused by this.
Yeah,
like with young boys and young men, it's like early exposure to this stuff, getting like unrealistic expectations of sex and like your twisted views on relationships and shit like that, which then will be felt by women and like the actual women involved in these things, like that amount of exploitation they go through. It's like nobody wins except for like the suitcase pimps.
Yeah.
Let this be a lesson to all you anime PFPs on X that you are being recruited by these weird imperialist war pigs, that your perversion to this anime lifestyle, you might not be actively participating in the invasion of and color revolutions of other countries, but you are being groomed to accept it as normal.
You want to get laid?
The freedom to be an anime cat girl is fake, and you should be sent to a re-education camp to have your brain wiped of this anime virus.
You want to get laid? Work on self-improvement and become a person that people like and want to be with. Don't fantasize about these anime, like whatever the fuck it is, that are never going to fuck you, or join some like fringe like so-called left group to like in hopes of getting into their little polycule. No, work on yourself, work on self-improvement, and if you still aren't getting laid, then work on more self-improvement. Work on yourself.
I've got a picture that gets passed around a lot that I think really sums up this idea. I mean, this is what it is. This is the imperialism of the future right here. This is what the soldiers are going to be imagining as they run into battle. I don't know where.
If you zoom in really closely, you can see Nick Fuentes in cat ears in the background.
It is. I don't know where this came from, but I can't get this image out of my head because I think it's just
people who imagine themselves to be like that are usually fat and hairy.
Oh yeah, this is totally the imaginary. It would be like a bunch of like 300-pound weebs like charging into the trenches, but this is what's going on in their imagination. This is how they're getting people to support imperialism. It's crazy. It's sad, but I mean, it's happening in front of me. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, we have to end it on a high note. This is the kind of content you're gonna get tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern here in the United States, or 8 a.m. Taiwan time if you're tuning in from Taiwan. Make sure to join us then, because we are super appreciative for Xiangyu to be here talking with us. Make sure to follow the page for more content like this. See you all in a